Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Today I am back with Ross's Game Dungeon after a very long time. I've been requested by Raymaster to react to Ross's Game Dungeon Polaris Snocross. Yes, made on the Accursed Farms YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out my previous reactions to other Ross's Game Dungeon videos, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top here. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. If you want to check out the original video as well as Accursed Farms YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ho ho ho! Welcome to the Game Dungeon. For the Christmas episode, we're looking at Polaris Snocross, a snowmobile racing game. Now this game is
Snowmobile racing game. Okay. I've never really played a game like that before, yeah. I'm trying to remember. The only racing games I used to play were like, Gran Turismo, and those types of racing games, but nothing with snow. Yeah. Well, MotorStorm on PlayStation 3, we were racing in mud, in lava, volcanoes, and near the beach, and in the jungles and stuff like that, but nothing with snow. So this is interesting.
especially Christmas themed, but it does have lots of snow. And hey, Christmas, winter, same thing. I guess winter doesn't mean much if you're in the southern hemisphere, but you're probably used to northern hemisphere propaganda by now.
No, I mean, we do get snow here, especially like in South Africa. We do get snow in some regions of our country during winter, June, July, August. I mean, it's even snowing right now, in April, in fact. Which province was it? Eastern Cape Province. Yeah, there's a lot of snow. Oh, and Free State Province. A lot of snow that's falling down in those areas. So we do get snow. It's just that it's not as often as, in the northern hemisphere. Yeah.
So, hope you like snow. Now, Polaris Snocross is a pretty standard racing game. You have a tournament mode, or you can race on a single track. But a lot of the tracks are locked off until you win races. You get to choose which snowmobile you use with different stats, and in tournament mode, you get to upgrade it as you go.
Yeah, it's definitely like Gran Turismo, just on snow and snowmobiles.
For all the tracks, you can race during the day or night, and while it's snowing or not. Now, the night and day option is pretty nice, but the weather option is lame. I'll show that in a bit. Okay, so let's start racing. Here's the game. The controls in this are very arcade style. The steering is a little jerky, but it's not as bad as it looks.
I don't know, it kind of looks like I'm playing in the arcade. You just have to put in the coins and then, you're driving on that snowmobile replica in the arcade center. Definitely. That's what it looks like to me.
Throughout the course, there are lots of opportunities to do jumps, and you can perform tricks while in midair. There are a lot of tricks you can pull off, but the more impressive ones simply don't trigger sometimes. Like, hey, that looks pretty cool, even though I think Isaac Newton would have some problems with how that went down. Here, I'm trying to do the same thing, and it's just not happening. The complicated tricks only work when the game wants them to. This happens on the gamepad and the keyboard. Like here.
The lies. The absolute lies. Did you see that? Nah, that's not possible. That's not possible. That is certainly not possible. Oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm pressing the sequence over and over, and it's... What? No, I don't want sticky keys, you piece of crap! I'm playing the game! I'm playing the game! When you perform tricks, you get points. But unlike most games, your points actually matter, as you can use them towards upgrading your sled. This creates an incentive to perform tricks constantly, but there's no reason to have variety, especially since the complex ones don't always work. On the contrary, the easiest trick to pull off while moving forward is also the fastest one to perform. So I just keep flinging my arms up in the air over and over again, like I'm a freaking chimpanzee stuffed in a tracksuit. The physics are believable when they want to be. Like here, I'm taking a turn too hard, and oh! Or watch me try to plow through a frozen riverbank. But here I'm getting some terrifying airtime from a jump. Let me ask you, do you think a snowmobile could handle this jump, landing on mostly flat ground?
Nah, like forget the snowmobile. What about you, the human body? Could it handle something like that? I don't think so. You know, I mean, yeah, the driver should have fell off the snowmobile and probably cracked some ribs or maybe the back or the legs or the neck. You know, the knee-jerk reaction as the snowmobile, hits the ground. You know, your neck should have snapped or something. Yeah, this is crazy.
I should mention now that you can't race on the tracks backwards, this jump being a perfect example why. Oh sure, that doesn't look so bad from a distance, but once you get up close, forget snowmobiles, I'd like to see any vehicle try to make it up this road, even without the snow. So you can survive jumps that could paralyze you from the neck down on a bad day. Or hey, let's hit a column of ice. Or better yet, a barn door. No problem. The last time I saw someone ram a door like that in a vehicle, it didn't go so well. These must be some good snowmobiles. And yes, the game does have invisible walls. So there's not much consistency, but one thing I do appreciate about the physics is you can ram other racers and knock them off their sleds.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. I used to do that in MotorStorm, Pacific Rim, I think that's what it was called, the PlayStation 3 racing game. I used to always choose the motorcycles, and I would always, battle against other contestants and kick them off their bikes. What did I press? L2 or R2? I can't remember. But yeah, it's possible, to do that, and it's always fun, just to kick the opponents off their motorcycles and win the tournament. Yeah.
This is the best. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, I've got some good tidings for you. I'm not familiar with the rules to real snowcross events, but I'm pretty sure ramming other racers isn't a sanctioned tactic. But hey, if you're out in the middle of the woods where no one can see you, it's just your word against his. He just cut in front of me. Yeah, see? Let's talk about the graphics. I both love and hate the graphics to this game, but it's not the game's fault, except it sort of is. Even though the graphics are dated by today's standards, this game is a perfect example of making the most with what you have. If you use a little imagination, this kind of feels like you're racing in the backwoods out in the country somewhere. After you're done racing, it feels like you could head into a warm cabin, have some hot chocolate, and watch out for wolves after nightfall. Oh! I really like the atmosphere. It's my favorite part of this game. Another thing this game does right is the draw distance. I called out graphic snobs in the first episode, but I realized I'm a little bit of one myself. Oops. The difference is the stuff I'm critical of, we've had solved for at least 10 or 12 years. Well, one of my pet peeves in games is objects that just pop in out of nowhere. Even modern games will do this because they're trying to cram in too much detail. I'd rather have crude graphics that are consistent instead of nice graphics up close, but background objects doing whatever the hell they want. Well, this game does it right. They didn't have the power to show you all the details at once, so what they did was hide it all behind a layer of fog, so you don't see the landscape popping in.
Oh, that's really good, actually. That's a genius move right there. And the fog makes it look real, because you're in this snowy environment and probably there's mist or there is a snowstorm, a little, snowstorm in the distance there, and the closer you get to that position or to that space, things become more clear. However, when you're from a far distance, it looks like you can't really see anything there. So yeah, it's kind of convincing, I think.
It's not perfect, but they made a pretty good effort here, and it lets me get drawn into the game. I actually didn't realize just how good a job they did until I started making this episode. This is the PC version of the game, but this came out for the PlayStation and Nintendo 64 as well. The PlayStation copy has exactly the problem I mentioned. You can see the landscape fading in out of nowhere, even though you have a background showing otherwise.
Oh, I don't like this. Look at the background. Look how it's shaking like that. No, I'm sorry.
The Nintendo 64 version is even more extreme. It's like you're sledding on the edge of reality here.
Yeah, like literally. Everything is just loading in as you are passing by. What if you go faster than than the roads loading in? Like, what if you just drive so fast that there's nothing and you're just driving on nothing? Yeah. Ugh.
If the systems couldn't handle it, they should have just scrapped these backgrounds and thrown fog everywhere. Make this look like Silent Hill snowmobiling. Or just dial down the graphics some so you can at least see the road in front of you. But the PC copy largely doesn't have that problem, so I'm glad it dodged the draw distance bullet. Another good thing is, for a DirectX 7 game, the lighting in this is pretty damn good. They're trying to fake some shadows. That's a lot more than I was expecting. So the atmosphere in this game I think is great. So what's bad? Well, for starters, I think the snow effect is kind of lame. It's perpetually snowing only about 10 feet in front of the camera. If I get some speed up, I can literally outrun the snow. Look at me! I'm faster than the speed of weather.
I don't know. I don't think that's really much of an issue. Maybe.
I know I'm being nitpicky, but I think there was room to make it better by spreading the particles out more without increasing the graphics load. But what I really hate is this game is a bastard to run on a modern system. Long and painful story short, it's impossible to run this game on modern hardware. I had to emulate it and fight through a lot of bugs. I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to make this episode. If you think any of this video looks choppy, just be glad I stopped the game from capping the frame rate at 21 frames per second. Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that. This game is also resolution capped. It goes up to 1024 by 768, which isn't bad, but come on, this is a 3D game. That's a totally artificial limit. Well, I tried hacking the executable with a freaking hex editor. I consulted a programmer and a game's compatibility expert. There's no way around it. This is as good as it gets. It's not quite good enough, though. How do you like the ski lift that tears through the planes of reality? Or the reappearing bridge? Or hey, remember how I was praising the lighting? Well, check out the headlights at night.
No, man, come on. This is weird. Wow.
Oh my god, these headlights. These make the night levels borderline unplayable. So your only option is to either play half blind or else switch to first person vomit vision.
It's like the light has slowed down. The light particles have slowed down from the speed of light, and they're just hanging there like that from the light globe, you know? Hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to say there. But essentially the light particles have just slowed down. They're not moving at the speed of light, and they're just hanging like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
I love the night atmosphere they've created, but this is horrible. This crap doesn't happen in the original. This is just bugginess from having to emulate Windows. That also means I can't force anti-aliasing. I confess, I'm a freak about anti-aliasing. I love it. I force it in 3D games whenever I can. Most people don't notice it, but my eye gets drawn to badly aliased areas like a magnet and distracts me from the rest of the game. Look at that. That is nasty. This is not pixel art. This is the computer calling it a day early. This bugs me because it used to look better. I was playing this game 3 years ago and it looked perfect. We've had the hardware to get rid of this since about 2001, 2002. So this game looks worse now than it has in the past decade. Anachronisms piss me off when I'm on the receiving end.
Maybe because it was compatible, you know, to those older models of computer, and with the newer ones it just makes it look very you know, like an unfinished job or something. Yeah, I don't know, but it is extremely compatible with the computers of the time of when this game was out to the public. Definitely.
Let's talk about the music. I've got some good Christmas music for you this time. The soundtrack is sort of a generic hard rock music created by the band Point Defiance. Not to be confused with the band Defiance Point, or Point Defiance Park, where some fishermen found human bones not long ago.
So Roger Garrett found those two bones about a half a mile down the beach this way and then around the point, and now detectives want to know where these bones came from.
I was at a loss of words. I didn't know what to think or say.
Roger Garrett tells me he found these two bones a couple of weeks ago while fishing on his favorite beach at Point Defiance Park.
Actually, I'm just assuming the band has nothing to do with finding human remains out at Point Defiance Park. The band is from that area. Seriously, they're like 20 miles away from the crime scene. Also,
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. No.
So I read on their site that they used to have 5 members, but now they have 4.
Oh no. No. Don't make me think about this, Ross. No. Okay, they're innocent until proven guilty.
I mean, I'm sure they didn't just kill him and dump his body out in the lake at Point Defiance as a sacrifice for the band or something. No, I don't think their music is quite hardcore enough for that. I think if they decide to do a cover of Them Bones, then police will have reasonable suspicion.
And I looked on the internet and Googled, human bones.
The music does fit the game quite well. While I personally like rock with a little more bite to it, this gets the job done and won't scare off everyone who just wants to ride a snowmobile. The music comes as CD audio tracks on the disc, but they've done some processing to it to try and mute out most of the vocals. I'm not sure why they did this. At first I thought it was because they were dropping F-bombs in the lyrics, and that would make sense. You don't want language like that in a snowmobile game. I mean, how old do you have to be to play a snowmobile game? 5? But no, the lyrics seem clean from what I can tell, so I don't know what happened. Also, even though the CD has 10 audio tracks, each song is a copy of another one. So there are only 5 actual songs. What the hell was going on here? Maybe it was a trick to get you to buy the actual album, although that doesn't quite make sense. This brings me to the most noteworthy aspect of Point Defiance, and that's they're actually composed of time travelers, as their first albums came out years after the game was made, the later one being 6 years after the fact. Now you're probably thinking, well Ross, they just released that music later is all. See, I thought of that too. But Polaris Snocross was released on February 18th, 2000, with the soundtrack by Point Defiance. But the band Point Defiance wasn't even formed until a year later in 2001. After discovering the secrets of time travel, I guess they decided to get a head start on their careers and figured getting their music into a budget racing game wouldn't disrupt the timeline too much. But
Yeah, this is weird, actually. This is really weird. They give songs that they have written, that they've sang, and they've played to this company, this game development company, and the game came out in the year 2000, but then the band also came out during 2001. So yeah, that is odd, really. Maybe they were a small band in the garage and they didn't really have a name, or maybe they had a name but they haven't announced themselves to the rest of the world that that they are this certain rock group. But yeah, I'm not sure. It's just very odd, really. Yeah.
they probably weren't counting on me pointing this out. So wait, does that mean I could be erasing this timeline and replacing it with another? Well, this must be interesting. What did I hit? Did you see it? I didn't see it.
Invisible wall, probably.
Oh. So that's the music. As for the rest of the sound, besides the engine noise and impact sounds, it's completely wasted. Between the rock music and the engine noise, you will hear nothing else in this game. Like, hey, did you know there's a banner flapping here? The only time you can hear anything else is when you fall off your bike and curl up in a fetal position.
That's no good.
That's no good.
Okay, so I like the atmosphere. It's a competent racing game. But there's something about Polaris Snocross that I found truly noteworthy. The artificial intelligence. Polaris Snocross uses what's called rubber band AI. This means that if you're falling behind, the racers slow down a little bit so you can catch up. If you're ahead, the racers behind you speed up to make it more challenging. I think that's a good concept.
I don't think I've actually really thought about that, about the AI's programs and how it should comprehend and adapt to the player and the player's decisions in a racing game. Whenever I race to win. I don't really race to see what's going on behind me, whether my opponents are slowing themselves down so I can have space to overtake them. And also, when you're in the first position, you don't really focus about the opponents behind you are trying to catch up with extremely high speed. I just think about winning as much as possible. I've never really thought about there being a program that focuses on you, moving ahead if you are left behind, or being caught up to if you are in the first position. Yeah.
Keeps you in the game and makes the finishes more close. Well, if this is a rubber band, it is the stretchiest rubber band I've ever seen. These racers are very considerate when you get held up. Oh no, your sled's having trouble? Well, don't worry, we'll keep a nice slow pace so you can catch up, buddy. But wow, you get close to that finish line, they will make sure you're breathing their exhaust. Here's a secret tip about this game. There are 3 laps, only the last lap matters. It doesn't matter what you do.
That's the same with all other racing games, First lap, second lap, it's fine. Well, with the second lap, catch up to the person in the first place. The third lap is when you try to maintain that lead until the end of the game. Yeah.
Don't get too far ahead. In fact, only the last 10 seconds of the last lap matter. Everything else is just a long warm-up. I would have games where I would be in first place the entire race, but at the finish line, the computer would always pull ahead. So I figured, oh, I get it. This is the gimmick to get me to upgrade my sled. Okay, fine. I'll do some grinding since the game is fun anyway. So I got my snowmobile upgraded all the way. I would even experiment finding the absolute fastest ways to get through the track so I could tear ahead, and I finally made it. But then on the next level, I could never beat it. I'm probably not quite as good now as I used to be, but I remember playing this track flawlessly.
And you couldn't kick that other opponent off his bike? Wow.
And the computer would always pull ahead at the finish line. Look at that. Did you see that? You may have missed it. Let's watch it again. Look at the radar. There, right there. That's some impressive snowmobiling he's doing. I didn't know his snowmobile was capable of pulling Mach 1 on the course, especially on the hairpin turn.
Yeah, this is cheating. This is complete cheating. Wow, no shame.
I think Polaris might be overselling their snowmobiles a little here. Now the slap in the face is if this happens on the last course in the tournament circuit, you don't just redo that course. It ruins your whole standing. That means you have to redo 12 laps and have a good standing on the other 3 courses just to try this part again. This is about the part where I start breaking things. Who the hell tries to pass somebody on the outside of a curve going uphill in the snow? Are you kidding me? Damn! That is so cheap! Yeah, that's right. Zoom past my fully upgraded sled that's going at top speed. It's cheating! The computer is cheating! I found this really annoying because it essentially meant that I couldn't beat the game. But it is just a racing game. So what if I'm not the winner? Who cares?
No, you will want to win. You will want to win.
But wait a minute. Remember how the tracks were locked off earlier? Well, guess what? Some of them are still locked off because I haven't beaten the tournament. I'm not even halfway through.
And that is why you need to win.
And I can't beat the tournament because the AI is making it impossible. Well, now I care. I want to see those tracks. They are just sitting there mocking me because they know I'll never see them. This game doesn't have any cheat codes either. Oh, sure, the console ports have cheat codes, but not the PC. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that no player has ever seen these tracks on the PC. Except for me. And I'm gonna show you. When I got this far before, I did not want to take no for an answer on seeing these tracks. So I started screwing around with the system files, hoping I would get lucky and could edit a config file to unlock them. No luck. Now, I am not a programmer by any means, but I was able to find some CSV files for each track, with one of them named bots. So I took a look at them. Max catch-up speed. Yeah, whatever that is, it's way too high. But changing this by itself didn't actually fix things. So I decided to change a bunch of numbers. That did the trick. Remember the intro from earlier? Check it out now. Oh, yeah, this guy
So slow, oh my gosh.
looks badass on a snowmobile now. Vroom! That's right. I figured out how to lobotomize the bots, and I was able to win the tournaments to unlock the tracks. And here they are. What you're looking at right now, I think no one outside the development team has ever laid eyes on. This is a lot of extra content to have locked off. This track is kind of lame, but the rest are good. I like roller coasters. This is practically the other half of the game. I'm sure the mappers really appreciated the other developers burying this so thoroughly that no one would ever get to look at it.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, that's why people create things, right? So no one will ever see their work. It would have been nice to figure out how to have the bots give me a fair challenge, but hey, this works just fine. Even now, you can see the computer trying to pull some fast ones on me.
What? Nah, this game really is cheating. This game really is cheating. What is that? How does he fly that high, that fast? No, I'm sorry.
If I have to choose between a game so hard I'll never see the end versus one that's too easy, I'd rather play the one I can, play. So that's Polaris Snocross, a budget racing game with broken difficulty that I think was meant to be a shovelware game but ended up resembling something good instead. That's it. Have a Merry Christmas, from my lobster sled to yours. Lobsters like water.
Okay guys, that is it. That is it with Ross's game dungeon, Polaris Snocross. Yeah, this game, it's just a simple, easy to understand. It's a racing game. You race in the snow with your snowmobiles. You complete the racing games to upgrade your snowmobile, to access new maps, and yeah, it's just mainly you trying to win each and every single racing course. And yeah, it just reminds me of all the other racing games I used to play on my PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, especially with Motorstorm. Yeah, Motorstorm, Pacific Rim. It was quite a unique racing game, so I would also attribute this one as a very unique racing game because you're dealing with snow and, you know, everything is different here. There's no proper race track per se. You know, it's not tarred road, it's ice, gravel, and, you know, having all of this nature around you in terms of the snow, the forests, the mountains, everything here. It looks very unique. Unlike Gran Turismo, where mainly you're just going on roads, proper roads, with, you know, these extremely fast vehicles. Here you're doing it with snowmobiles. So yeah, it was quite interesting. And I liked the maps. I liked one map in particular with the sun set, right? And, you know, you'd see the orange color just reflecting on the snow, and, you know, you'd have the blue sky and the green trees and the white snow. It just made it made everything look really beautiful, like a dream kind of thing. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but it just looked very nice. I don't know which map it was, but really I like the sunset in that map. And, you know, the conspiracies that Ross is Ross is trying to push with Defiance Point and the Defiance Park, finding bones there, and having one of the members of Defiance Point who left. We don't know what happened to him per se, like whether he died or he just left the group, I'm not sure. And also the fact that, you know, there might be time travelers because they released the music to the game developers first, and then after after the year 2000, in 2001, that's when they started to go under the name of Defiance Point. So yeah, these conspiracy theories that Ross is spewing out here are really something. But it is, you know, a question that needs to be answered. How is it possible that they already had the music and they gave it to the game developers, yet the group as Defiance Point was not yet established? You know, that's why I'm assuming that, you know, this music, it was first created in the garage, in one of their garages, and the game developers were passing by the garage and like, oh, I like that music, come to my office and let us discuss, you know, us taking your music and putting it in our game. So maybe that's what happened, I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting thought right there. The game cheats. Like, did you see that guy? He flew like a supersonic jet into the finish line. That was just crazy. Unbelievable. And yeah, you know how the game allows you or helps you to catch up to the other contestants. And then when you are first place, that's when things become really serious, and where the AI tries to beat you. And almost 100% of the time it succeeds because it's cheating. You know, it's cheating. So yeah, that was quite interesting as well. And yeah, guys, I guess that is it. Thank you to Raymaster for requesting that I should react to this video. It's been really enjoyable. Guys, remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as Accursed Farm's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay?